Hello, everyone. Weird situation after two Villa wins in a row, but we're here anyways. Jack Grimsey alongside Robert Lintott, as always, for the whole cast. How's it going, Robert?
It's going wonderfully. I told people that we were thinking about canceling the show because it just can't get any better than this.
Yeah, I don't know. Two wins in a row. We don't have Sam Ty back. That was a blast last week.
It was, absolutely. We got in touch with him, and if you enjoy having Sam on the podcast, he will be back throughout the season. We're going to try to have him back when he actually is able to get to matches so that he can give us a little bit of first-hand perspective, and we really appreciate his willingness to do that.
Yeah, even if you didn't like having him on the podcast, we're going to have him back, because we did.
That's a good point. We're the ones running this show, so if you liked him, you're welcome. If you didn't, we're sorry.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Villa got a win after he came on, so...
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to just bring him on anytime Villa need a second win in a row.
So, yeah, I don't know. Villa had won actually a few matches earlier in the season in a row, and then obviously that horrible stretch where couldn't even get a point against QPR, and now it's beat West Brom for the third in a row. I know your favorite fans in the world besides Villa fans are West Brom fans, Robert.
West Brom fans are my life and blood. They're so predictable. I can't wait for Saturday to enjoy them on Twitter, have them calling us wonderful names, telling us they're the pride of the Midlands. But I kind of also enjoy the fact now that because Leicester is up, we get two Midlands derbies in a row. I mean, one that no one seemingly cared about in terms of a derby, and then a second one that West Brom fans care about in terms of a derby.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. West Brom are pretty terrible outside of Berahino. Berahino seems to be an amazing player.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And you know, to their credit, for the past few years since they've returned to the Premier League, West Brom have found a way to survive. I mean, I can't really discredit them for that because that's all that Villa have been doing in that time span. You know, as a team, do I necessarily hate West Brom? Not really. Like they've put together some interesting, if not thoroughly entertaining football, but I can't blame them because that's what Villa have done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to be stretched on a budget, but let's get back to West Brom later. We got actually a couple Twitter questions coming in, actually from our friends at the Aston Villa Review. We just got, would you rather fight one Benteke-sized Grealish or 10 Grealish-sized Bentekes? The age-old question. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Benteke is huge.
But here's the question: if it's Benteke-sized Grealish, will the camera zoom in on his socks and show us that he doesn't have any shin guards on?
Yeah, I think you just kick him in the shins.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like the way to go.
But 10 Grealish-sized Bentekes, you know, the Ryan Mason technique would work. You could just push Benteke in the face then.
And then get him a red card?
Yeah, two for one.
So we've got a football ref at this night.
Then you could get someone down to one man.
I mean, I hadn't even thought of that, but 10 Grealish-sized Bentekes, all you need is a goalkeeper, and you've got yourself a starting 11.
Yeah. Or then you bring in that Benteke-sized Grealish, and then you have one of those winger target men types.
Oh, that sounds perfect. Actually, let's see if Villa can find themselves some Grealish-sized Bentekes and a Benteke-sized Grealish, because I think that is the best way to improve this club right now.
I think either or slots into the lineup really.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, instantly, especially with all the injuries we have. I think
especially with all the injuries. And Chaz Rad at Chaz Suplex Rad sent us, where in the world is Libor Kozak? Which is funny because we were just talking about that before the show.
And we came to a decision. And we have some unfortunate news for everyone. Jack?
After a long deliberation, the referee's called a halt to this contest and has declared Libor Kozak, in fact, dead.
Yeah, we're pretty sure the guy is never coming back.
Thanks, Ciaran Clark. At least you're good now.
he's earned the ability to kill one Villa player a year with he's been playing lately.
Yeah, he's just felt bad. He's just had to play so well lately.
Yeah, It's actually a good question from Jazz Red, because where in the hell is Lever Gozak? We were legitimately discussing it, and we came to that conclusion that he must be dead, but we haven't heard about him lately. We haven't seen from him lately. He's certainly got to be a better option than some of the striking things we have now, but that's only if he's actually alive.
Yeah, and it's funny. Yeah, another question we had from Austin Elliott at Tip Daddy. And what is the reasoning behind Lambert not giving Bent a run when we needed strikers and then loaning him? I think we saw Ben only get really one or two chances, I think.
Yeah, and he
was
was
legitimate chances. He came on late in a couple other matches and I don't know, got 4 touches in 40 minutes of play. He said he's willing to work in Lambert's system. Then I don't know how much he can work as a striker who's not a target man or someone on the outside with a lot of pace, because that's how he uses other strikers. But yeah, when Bent had a couple chances, he missed them.
Yeah, and he was, when he had those chances, he missed them, and he was entirely incapable of creating his own chances. But to the question at hand, why wasn't he given a chance, and why did we loan him? That's a great question. He was bad. I get that's why we sent him out. But loaning him out forced the recall of Callum Robinson, who hasn't played in a couple of weeks now.
But that's a bad thing. I think we would have rather seen Callum stay at Preston North End.
Exactly, right?
Unless he's going to play. I mean, you see December, Villa have all these injuries, fixture build up. I think we could see Callum Robinson play this month and maybe get loaned to a championship side for the spring.
Yeah, that's the talk that I've heard from a lot of people, that, maybe he's going to get loaned out in the spring. And if that's the case, I'm a little less against what's happened. Because,
I'd be thrilled to have him starting week in, week out at a championship side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if he's here in December and he gets into a match or two and he then gets loaned out to a championship, fine. If he's here in December and he gets into a match or two and everyone starts coming back healthy and we keep him around and do nothing with him in the spring, then I still think it was a dumb idea.
Exactly.
So I'm sticking hard to my line that until Paul Lambert does something smart with the Callum Robinson decision,
doing something stupid.
I'm going to assume he's doing something stupid, because he hasn't earned the benefit of a doubt on that one yet.
I don't think that's a stretch at all. Just based on, I don't know. I think Lambert's transfer business has gotten markedly better. Since
I think so too. It's just it's not his transfer business that I have a problem with. It's his dealings with young players. They give me pause. That's why I'm not giving him the benefit of doubt. It's actually at the point where if he buys a player, I'm just going to go ahead and trust him that player is worth buying, because he does have the benefit of a doubt there.
And now players like Yoris Ikora coming through. So, I mean, Ikora's been amazing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He on Sunday, he was everyone that Sam Tighe said he was and more. He's got pace, he's got football knowledge, he's got a good passing ability, he knows when to make the right tackle. He's really, honestly, at this point, I would choose him over any other central back in Villa, including Ron Vlaar.
I would as well. And actually, looking at the injury report, it looks like Vlaar could be back for the West Brom game this week, as well as Cleverly, who was reported with a knock now on his ankle. But still, we're missing Delph and Senderos, and I think, I don't know, Senderos has already served his purpose and served his value at a free transfer.
Yeah, I would agree. We've gotten our value out of him, and now I think he becomes really good backup.
Exactly. I'd be glad to have him as fourth choice even for the next 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely, or even third choice. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
First off the bench from him, sure, he's good.
Or we could use a back three if everyone could just stay healthy. I'd be happy playing him in a back three.
I'd like to see that too. My only issue with the back three at this point is if you switch there, it means you're going to either play 5 at the back with Hutton and Sissoko, and I don't love the idea of 5.
No, you're going to play Bakuna on the wing.
Or you're going to get rid of Hutton and Sissoko, and I think Hutton should be playing every match. He's earned it right now.
Yeah, but in some matches where you know you're going to go against 2 strikers, I think you swap the wingbacks. I think you put in Richardson and Bakuna.
All right.
Sissoko and Hutton have been great defensively, and I mean Hutton even got forward and scored a goal. So obviously, and Sissoko, I know he tries going forward, but he cannot complete a cross.
No, he can't. He's
And that's
really
okay
fair.
because he's incredible, and as Sam was saying last week, at blocking crosses.
Yeah, he's a defender, and he is primarily a defender. And for years, we've had sort of this identity. Thanks, I think, in large part to Gabby Agbonlahor, we've had this identity as a counter-striking club. And to really fulfill that, you need right and left backs that can get up a little bit. But I think Villa
We've had a lot of pace.
exactly.
In the attacking phase
Yeah.
of the game. However, we've decided to set that up. I mean, we could have chose the option. I mean, Darren Bent's a pacey striker too.
He was a pacey striker.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't see anything to say he was pacey this year. He looked slow.
He's always had the right pace at the right time, really. If
That's a
he's
good
on,
point. Yeah.
If he's on, and Vyman's not slow by any stretch of the imagination, but. So, I mean, it's just you have some speed up there, and then you don't have the midfielders to possess the ball. Of course, I think you're gonna try to hit people in the counter.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think I'm okay with this idea of defending right and left backs. It's they're actually doing that job, because the problem was we had right and left backs who were okay in getting forward and pretty bad at defending. I would rather have, backs who are good at one thing, and that's defending, rather than
Exactly. They're
pretty
not
average at one and then crap at the other.
And especially because they're not wingbacks. With Richardson and Bakuna there, I think you can afford to have them, give them a bit more freedom, let them go forward. But I think again that maybe that's only going to work if you have Sanchez who can sit alongside Westwood. Because, Sanchez wins the ball, you want him to play it square to Westwood 5 feet away. That's fine. And then Delph, I think Delph or Cleverly in the middle going forward. But maybe that's only good if you have Benteke and Kozak back. So
yeah, that very well could be. I think the other issue I would have with three at the back is I would worry because Villa have a real tendency to narrow up, as Tom Jones keeps pointing out on Twitter, our writer Tom Jones. They have a real propensity to get really narrow, and three at the back I think might encourage that even further.
That's true. If they're going to cede possession and bunker, that'd be a great way to get another actual defender on the pitch. If you're looking at it that way, yeah.
Yeah, the really interesting thing to me is I think your core point here is really good. I think we've got the center backs right now to run a really good three at the back system. I think the issue is that the rest of the system doesn't really fit that as well.
No, but I think it's good that just Villa are seem to be adding more depth and better, of course, just much better than last season.
Yeah. I want to turn this really quickly over to Leicester. Jamie Vardy, the tackle on Ashley Westwood.
Sorry, let's get back to that.
No, it's all right. Nothing at all. I just that tackle on Ashley Westwood. Should it have been a red card?
Maybe not. Yeah, he came in from a pretty bad angle.
He came in from behind. He didn't even touch the ball, and he scissor kicked Westwood.
Yeah, he kind of locked his leg. I think it should have been.
Yeah, I thought it should have been a red card too. And
well, the FA didn't.
Plenty of Villa fans on Twitter were blaming Carlos Sanchez for even placing that pass there in the first place, which I think is so wrong-headed. It's Carlos Sanchez.
They just gave him a hospital pass.
Yeah, exactly. But Carlos Sanchez didn't do that tackle. That was an unnecessary tackle. There is.
I don't know why Vardy got stuck in. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a 5% chance you successfully complete that tackle, which makes me think it was maliciously done.
At least somewhat, and maybe not necessarily premeditated. It's a forwards tackle.
Yeah, it is, but it's just. Sanchez didn't make a great pass, but that does not change the fact that Vardy had no business making that tackle.
No, and when he's not even going to get suspended for it. I think that's a bit harsh. Obviously, it helped Villa see out the match.
Yeah, he's not going to get suspended for it, and in response, Villa have lost one of their better midfielders now for at least 4 matches.
That's what the problem is that. It's going to be tough going without Westwood.
Yeah, absolutely, especially since we're already without Delph, right? It's one of those things where losing one or the other, I don't think is catastrophic. Losing both, I think, is actually a pretty huge blow for
And
Villa.
for an extended period of time. I mean, I think Delph really will be back maybe for Boxing Day. He obviously won't be at a preseason level of fitness. Maybe he can keep decent fitness with his shoulder. I don't know.
Yeah, he was back to non-contact training about
I've seen him
ago.
on the bike and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like playing in a match, but
Yeah, so I thought that Westwood injury hurt, but boy, there were some highlights in that match. How about Ciaran Clark's goal?
yeah, wow, that was great movement to
I
get.
mean, it
I mean,
looked
and
like
Westwood on that set piece, you're gonna miss that.
yeah, but I mean, exactly. The set piece from Westwood was absolutely perfect. He put it on the tee. He put it into a spot where nobody was. And then Ciaran Clark comes running in with almost a striker's like instinctive notion of where to put his body, because there's nothing about that you've ever practiced that play before.
No, probably not.
I mean, he was falling down. The only way he was
Yeah,
going to get that shot is if he fell down and headed it.
yeah, exactly.
It was an instinctive shot, and it was incredibly athletic.
Maybe you drill something to have Okora and Benteke run one way, so their big guys run with them, and then Clark's open. But we had just talked about Clark not being one to go up and attack the ball in the defensive half, and then he goes in and slams that home.
Exactly. He doesn't attack in the defensive half. He attacks in the offensive half.
And how about Hutton with Hutton's finish? That was hilarious.
It was perfect. It was cool. It was calm. It was everything it should be. Can you
if he messed it up though, he
imagine that
terrible.
scenario, the exact same thing, except Gabby Agbonlahor is on the end of that pass. Do you have any faith he makes that?
I think the ball would still be orbiting the moon.
I mean, it's just because he hasn't finished. Hutton, Gabby should go talk to Hutton. Excuse me, how do I clinically finish like that? He took his time. Granted, he had time.
He had time and he waited and he just smashed it by Schmeichel. So I mean,
set the ball, put it in, and to even more of a point, in both goals, we're just so stunned by the fact that Clark and Hutton scored the goal that we sort of forget that Westwood put in that perfect set piece. Benteke put in the single most perfect pass I've seen all season.
So what? The last 4 games, we've had 4 different goal scorers.
Yeah, exactly. After having only 2 for the first 13 of the season.
Or 3, the last 3 games, I guess, because Cole, then Benteke, and now. But the game before that, we were probably held to 0, so.
Hard to have a goal scorer that way.
For the stat, we have it. But.
Yeah, I just wish more people were talking about that Benteke pass. Because it was.
Oh, from the other side of the area where he just. Yeah.
Over a head, just parachutes it in.
Yeah, that could have ended up. I don't know. It could have gone anywhere.
And the reason
and nothing even against Benteke, just from a lot of people, and Delph doesn't complete that.
No, I mean, and the reason Hutton had so much time to set up that shot was because he didn't have to do anything with the pass. It just landed on a plate in front of him, and okay, sure, I'll kick it in.
Smash.
It was, Benteke he's always been a pretty multifaceted player, but this year he is showing to me a level of creativity and a level of willingness to, help out more than I've ever seen from him.
Yeah, he's not just a target man and a bruiser that scores headers.
Yeah, exactly. And he's always been a player who will muscle past a defender who will, if there's no one else up there, create his own chance. He doesn't have to wait. But this year he's assisting. He's trying to get other people in, and that wasn't the only time in the day that he did it.
And then it's just also shown that if Villa are able to get goals, not with Christian Benteke scoring, if Villa can get 2 goals through 2 defenders, I mean, I think they're not going to be in any real danger.
Yeah, absolutely agree. The nicest thing to me about these 2 wins is that they've sort of reminded me that Villa are not a relegation level team. They never were. They had that 9-game streak without a win, but in that time they had, the last 3 were draws, and they're reminding me that, yes, that streak came for the most part against some of the best teams in the league, QPR accepted, of course. And now when they're playing the crap teams, they're, again, better than they are. And so Villa aren't a relegation team, and it's a nice reminder.
No, and just a win, one more win could get them into the top half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a little depressing to go back and think that we had 3 prime opportunities heading into, past the 80th minute, and we had 3 points locked up, and we dropped all of them.
I don't know. That's just. Do you expect anything different though?
No,
I think everyone blows matches like that,
Yeah, but it just sucks to have blown 3 out of 4.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, if you could have even just held on for a point, I mean, like Igbanlahor coming back, not marking, and then Okoro giving away a penalty, that really hurts because you think, oh, what, we'd be on 23 points, we'd be 8th.
We'd be even better. I figured it out. We would be 4th right now if we had gotten the Tottenham.
Had all of them. I don't.
Yeah, the Tottenham, Burnley, Southampton wins. Those were all 3 where we were headed into the last quarter of the game with 3.
I feel like Spurs might have ended in a draw at best.
It could have, but I mean, it's just. But like I said in that post that I wrote this week, there's no point in going back and saying, oh, it could have been, except for the fact that it points out that, this league is not deep this year. Villa are 30 minutes away in 3 different matches, 30 minutes away from being 4th place, and they were crap.
And you know who's in 4th place right now?
Who?
West Ham. So if you're going to say someone who's bad can't be in 4th, you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a deep league, so that's the value.
Realistically, I think Arsenal probably end up getting 4th.
Like always.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? Because I think Man United are going to be in the top 3.
Yeah, they could be. They're finally starting.
They'll ride their luck until their injuries stop, and then they'll be okay.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what Van Gaal can make of that club.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this year would have been a real chance for Spurs to get 4th. Looks like Liverpool, they lost to Basel yesterday.
Yeah, and it looked like junk doing
Again, so. Yeah.
It could have been a year for anyone to get 4th or 5th.
Yeah, and I think it still could be a year that Villa could finish, I don't know, 8th.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I just can't sit there and say even that there are 10 better teams, because if Villar hasn't been his best, but if he's back and Okoro's playing well and Benteke's finding the back of the net, I don't know. And who knows with if Delph comes back. I just think Villa really need to finish strong and maybe even buy something in January to try to convince Delph to stay.
Yeah, at this point I would actually be okay if Delph didn't stay. I love him. I like having him around, but I think the pairing of Westwood and Cleverley, I honestly think Westwood has the potential to fill in the gap that Delph would leave.
No, they're not the same player. No one's going to give you the runs that Delph did going forward that when he finished that and beat Southampton last year. Westwood never would do that. Yeah,
you're never going to get that, but I'm okay with having a different style of player sort of captaining the midfield, because that's what Westwood does when Delph is out.
I don't hate a midfield of Westwood, Cleverley, and Sanchez, but I am not sure if we're going to be keeping Cleverley.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's gonna be more costly to sell Delph and buy Cleverley than to keep Delph and just return Cleverley.
Well, the problem is, if you keep Delph, are you sure that you can actually keep him?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could at least get him on like a 3-year contract, and then.
He's shown no indication of wanting that, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true, but.
He's got the ability to go to a better club. He can earn a hell of a lot more money at a better club. I don't see what his reason to stay is, other than loyalty. Which
I mean, if he thinks he'll play.
Yeah, but I think he can start. I think at 17 clubs in the Premier League.
Probably.
I don't think there's any reason for him to stay at Villa.
All right, Villa, show Delph the money.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to stay. I would love him to stay. I'm just sort of. The rational part of my brain has written it off, because there's no reason for him to stay, so why would he? So
they should have. I don't know. It's annoying that they didn't get him signed on a new contract maybe last year.
Yeah.
Why did you put it off?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. They could be playing hardball too, and they Just give him a contract and then give him a fair release clause like 20 million. And if someone comes in for it, okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I think they should do that, and I really do think they should try to keep him. But I'm just trying to look at this squad and figure out what can they do if he goes, because I think his going is inevitable.
Yeah, and I'd like to see. I mean, I think we're gonna need to buy another center mid then, because what's Gary Gardner done at Brighton? What is what's the plan, guys? Because if I don't know, what if even Sanchez got hurt?
Yeah, and what we know right now, heading into West Brom this weekend, is that injuries can be a problem, because Delph is out, Westwood is out, and I'm not entirely certain that Cleverley would even make the start, because I don't know if you risk him after he got injured last match. So right there, your midfield trio is gone. And so
I guess you just got to play Callum Robinson somewhere.
Yeah, or Jack Grealish, or Kieran Richardson, or
I think Kieran Richardson's likely to get a start in central midfield at this point.
I think so too, and I mean, God, this could be the type of situation where Yura Sakura only got a start when literally everyone was dead.
Or what if what if you bumped Clark to defensive midfield?
God, I mean, I think that could, but what's the purpose in that? Because Sanchez is your defensive midfielder. And he hasn't shown enough to make me think he could play elsewhere right now. He's barely holding on to defensive mid as it is.
You'll have him throw in the tackles just a little further up the pitch.
Yeah,
transitional ball. I mean, you score.
Yeah, you could. I think this is where Grealish gets the start. I think it's like Okora. Lambert's hand might actually get forced by the fact that he literally has no other option.
And yeah, and with the layoffs on Sunday, it's lucky Villa didn't have a midweek fixture.
Yeah, absolutely. It it kind of makes me wish that we had another Sunday match this week, because we could use it.
And I don't know, it's gonna be pretty tight in the next couple weeks, though.
Yeah, God, there's a lot of fixtures. I just can never believe how crowded Christmas is.
Yeah, and I mean, the cup starting beginning of January, and I mean, Manchester United, of course.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a hellish stretch.
But if Villa could get to 20, I think if they could get to 25 points by New Year's, as in the day after New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
If they win New Year's Day, then they're sitting in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I honestly think they could hit 27 even by then.
Yeah, okay, so just a reminder, West Brom's coming up this weekend, and then Manchester United on the 20th. Boxing Day is Swansea City, December 28th, Sunderland, and on New Year's Day, Crystal Palace.
I think you can get 9 points from that stretch.
With 19 points right now, 5 matches out of 15 points available. I'd be happy with 2 wins and 2 draws.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that too, but I honestly think you could get 9.
I think you could get 12.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a.
Because we're not beating Man United.
I don't think so, but there's.
They don't have Chicharito though.
You could. That took me by surprise. I like that. I mean, I would never in my life place a bet on this, but you could see winning all of the non-Man United matches and maybe even getting a draw in the Man United match. There's a chance you could get 13 out of that.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think about. There's no way I put money on them getting 13 points out of the next 15. But it's not totally crazy.
No, I mean somewhat, just because they only have 18 on the board right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Excuse me, 19. But if Villa, I don't know, a win against West Brom and who knows.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I would love to
just feel like once you really get some momentum going,
it's going to be hard to stop.
It can't last forever, but I mean, look at Real Madrid. They've won 19 in a row. Can you you just cannot see them losing?
No, that's true, but you can.
And I'm sure the players can't see them losing. They're just getting it done.
You could have said the same about Chelsea though, too. and Chelsea lost. Inevitably, everyone loses.
And I don't know. Inevitably, you're going to lose in the Premier League.
And the problem is, well, yeah, inevitably you're going to lose in the Premier League, and Villa are in the Premier League, and they're not the caliber of a team of any.
No, they're not. But I'm saying once they're not going to reel off 19 in a row, but you could get they're 5 matches unbeaten now.
Okay, I see what you're saying. They could
So if,
pull
I don't know, maybe a win here, another draw, then I don't know, then you lose one. But you still look at the run of form over 10 games, and you just say, oh, we're playing really good football.
Yeah,
So that's all I'm trying to say. I know
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, this is the time for Villa to make their move. They can pretty much secure safety by New Year's Day.
Hey, we just got a new follower on the 7500 to Holte Twitter account, and their name is Matt Jeffcott, and their Twitter description is WBA customer.
Well, I'm glad that we're getting West Brom fans after trolling.
Does that mean
them.
season ticket holder? You've bought something at the West Brom club shop.
I like it. Are you excited for West Brom this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I think Matt Kendrick tweeted yesterday. Either club's fan base is going to be wary of taking a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen those evaporate in this derby. It's I don't know. I just love the West Brom derby at this point.
I think there have got to be some goals in it. I think I'm going to go 3-2 Villa.
3-2 Villa?
I think Berahino is very dangerous and will find the back of the net.
We're at West Brom. I'm going to say 2-2.
2-2. I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I would be too.
You have any final thoughts?
Play Grealish.
Of course.
In honor of Sam Ty, and he's so correct. Play Grealish, especially if we've got all the injuries. There's no excuse not to play him, right? It's the Akora
He came
conundrum.
so close to scoring.
Oh, God. He's going to do it, and I hope it happens at Villa Park, because that place will go frickin' insane.
If there's anyone there.
Well, whatever.
The people who are there will go nuts.
The 20,000 people will lose their goddamn minds, and
That's true.
I mean, it would be great if he scored anywhere, but seeing him get his, open his account at Villa Park would just be the greatest thing ever.
I think so. I mean, away in a derby.
That you're right. That is a good second choice, right? Scoring maybe the winner against West Brom.
Yeah, or all 3.
92nd minute, tied 2-2. Jack
Yeah.
Grealish comes barreling in and scores the winner.
With a diving header.
Yes.
Just
Goes off of his unguarded shin.
scorpion kick.
Yeah, they just zoom in on the socks.
No shin pads.
But yeah, I'll say 2-2. It's a derby. It's a crazy derby. It's a derby between two unfortunately kind of equal squads, especially with all the injuries Villa have right now. So it really can go anyway. I hate to say that cliche, but there's no predicting this one.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be entertaining, but we'll have all the coverage for you, of course, and that's going to be this Saturday. It'll be 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 local. But yeah, I guess that's all we have for this week. So remember, we're still on iTunes, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, and for Robert Lintott, I've been Jack Grimsey. Thanks for joining us on the Holtecast.